I wanted to shoot a little quick video and explain what's been going on. I haven't had a chance to get any molding done the last week and a half because of this dude. This was my primary means of busting iron, and she let me down a second time after this fitting here broke from the shock of the iron breaking down there. This valve attachment, that weight hanging off the side of the cylinder, it kept breaking that pipe nipple, so I ended up having to weld it. That didn't work. The problem with that was I was trying to weld it with this on there. This really needs to be off in order to vent. It just kept developing gas as I welded and kept blowing a new pinhole through. So I had to make a decision. Go ahead and try to do that again, or go ahead and get something better in place that I needed anyway, because this thing, it's all it can do to bust some of those. So this is what I come up with. It's all 1-inch plate steel, a huge cylinder. This thing, you can throw an engine block in there and it'll crush it. I don't have a hydraulic package to run it, so I'm powering it off my International. It's got a IMT knuckle boom crane. Anyway, it's pretty good. I'm throwing 2 brake rotors at a time on there, sandwiched back to back, and it just crushes them with no problem at all. This is the remainder of the rotors. I've got 2 barrels full there, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits on crushing anymore for a while. Try to get some of this stuff caught up. But like I said, these rotors are thick too. Some of these are off the big rigs. This is on the first day that I was running the smasher. I wasn't sure of how well the welds were going to hold up, so I was trying to go easy with it here, and we're also trying to get a game plan in action in order to efficiently bust this stuff up in a reasonable amount of time. As you can see, I'm kind of taking it slow and easy. This is one of the big rotors. You see how thick that thing is. It broke it with no problem at all. The 2 vertical gray things you see in the middle are dies that I welded. It's just basically channel, and those are for breaking the iron into smaller pieces. The whole rotor sets on those outer rails, which is slightly taller than the middle dies, so they're not in contact with that rotor until it's broken into smaller pieces. The dies did have to be reinforced. They started spreading apart on me, so I had to weld some pieces on the side to help hold those vertical. The knife itself is 1 inch thick, 14 inches wide, and 46 inches long. And as you can see, that cylinder end is way out there on the end, and I'm trying to keep all my work as close to the pivot point as possible, so you can only imagine what kind of pressure I got right there. The welds held for the most part. I did have to go in and add some gussets in places and thicken up the weld fillets. But once I did that, everything seemed to do just fine. Sunday, I was running it before church and after church, and I didn't have any problems. I got the truck unhooked from it, got it out of the way, and now I got to pick all this stuff up along with cords, hoses, welding leads, hammers, everything, and get it to where I can cut grass around this again. I made quite a mess last week and a half, and my grass has been doing nothing but growing the whole time, so I haven't had a chance to cut it since I started this. Give you an idea of how thick these rotors are. The majority of them are going to be like this. That's measuring 1.5 inches overall. Just under or just over 3/8 of an inch on each web. So that's basically a little over 3/4 material if you were looking at it like that. So these are brand new rotors, never been used, no wear on them. They were discontinued. I got a chance to buy up the store on them, so I came home a happy camper. I don't have time to be dumpster diving, so I wait for opportunities like this to arise. I always put the word out, and I have a few guys that look out for me, so I really appreciate that, by the way.